Hey everyone, it's BWPTV. Welcome, welcome. It is April 22nd, 2020.
Wow, the 22.
Ooh, lucky day.
Yes, for business.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. Well, welcome to Business with Purpose TV, or what we like to call BWPTV, which you can go find us on BWPTV.org or .com to go find our YouTube channel. This is a show where we actually spotlight authors, entrepreneurs, and members of our Business with Purpose community. Business with Purpose is a nonprofit, and our whole mission is doing whatever we can to help small business owners. And Chuck and I, in particular, love to make small business owners famous. And this is one of the ways we
Yes.
do that, right? So we really want to highlight the community building, the people building businesses with that are aligned with their purpose, which I think every entrepreneur, that's why we start our businesses, right? Because we have something in our heart, a passion or purpose that we have where we used to start our business. So anyway, I'm Sue Brooke.
And I'm Chuck Casto. And, we're excited for the show, of course, but BWP TV is bigger than even this show. Okay. And this show's getting bigger every week. We're actually part of a movement. Tom was saying that off camera before, and a movement with Business with Purpose, our nonprofit. And it really has just a simple purpose, which is we empower entrepreneurs to build businesses and lives aligned with their purpose through community, education, and personal growth. I was reading it, so I got it all right. So if you haven't joined us yet on Alignable, please join our Business with Purpose group. And Sue, that's it for the announcements. Let's dive into this baby.
All right. Well, that's Chuck. Every single week on BWP TV, we really bring you stories, real stories from real hardworking entrepreneurs. And I don't think we have more hardworking ones than we have today. We're going to talk about the journey, the challenges, turning points, which we have all gone through. I personally many, and the moment that led them to the work that they do. So, because when your business is built with purpose, that really means something, okay? It doesn't just grow, it actually has a meaning. So today's conversation is going to hit home for a lot of you. We have some amazing stories we're going to dive into today, especially if you've ever wondered, could I really share my story? These three wondered that same thing, and now they have shared their story, and you're going to hear some of it today. So we're kicking things off with three incredible guests. So just wait when I call your name: Sharon Caudell, the amazing Sharon Caudell, Tom Chase, another good, and Jeff Anderson. And we are all of us except for Chuck, are in Phoenix area. So we all know each other in person, which is another very cool thing. So go ahead,
That
Chuck.
is very cool. I'm surprised you guys aren't doing this live from a Denny's or something.
Yeah, we should have all been together in the same.
Yeah. Anyway, that's good. Well, Sharon, let's start with you. Tell us your business name, tell us just a little bit about yourself, and most importantly, your fun fact.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Thank you for having me on here. My name is Sharon Caudell. I've been a bookkeeper for 40 years, and 4 years ago, me and my husband purchased a bookkeeping business. Um, let's see, wouldn't know if it's fun. Interesting fact, born and raised here, native, and just seen the Grand Canyon about 6 years ago when my daughter went on a school trip up there, and I was a chaperone, and I got to see the Grand Canyon for the first time, and it is beautiful. It is breathtaking, and I'm so glad I got to go on that field trip. It was amazing. Took so many pictures. So yeah.
Well, it's good you got out of the office once in 40 years to go do
Yeah,
this.
finally.
Good. That's excellent. Tom, how about you, buddy?
Well, I'm Tom Chase. I'm not a native of Arizona, but I've been here 31 years, so I feel like it. Um, my company is the Passive Income Network and Affordable Housing Loans. They work together. The Passive Income Network is a private lender group that funds the loans that we create in affordable housing. And what do we focus on? Affordable housing loans. A little thing about me is last year I played in the World Series of Poker event in Las Vegas and placed well into the money in the event. Now, I didn't play in the main event. That's what I played in the over 60 group, and still there were 3,400 of us in that, and I finished number 115.
Hey, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a
And
great.
and Jeff, how about you? That's a tough act to follow.
Okay. Yeah. My name is Jeff Anderson, and I'm the owner of Alpha Omega Technical Services, and we are a managed service provider for small and medium-sized businesses, taking care of all those IT, cybersecurity, technological needs that businesses need to keep themselves. We take care of the IT stuff, so the business owners can actually do their business and have that peace of mind that it's all being taken care of.
That's
Uh,
excellent.
Yeah, and a fun fact about me I like to share is I pretty much have been in every country that borders the Mediterranean Sea except for Libya.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
And why is that?
When I was in the Navy back in the
Okay.
Gulf War, I flew in an aircraft that was too large to be on a carrier, so we touched down in all these different places. And in
Wow.
that aircraft, we did fly past what they call the line of death. So we did fly into the Libyan airspace that they claimed. So I got close, but we didn't get.
Well, we're glad we're
Yeah,
here. You're here, and thank you for your service.
No
my
kidding.
pleasure.
That's amazing. Well, I don't know if all of you know this, but we just published an amazing book called Built with Purpose. I'm at my sister's now, and their Chuck's holding it up. Yep. Everybody's got their books they're holding up. I don't have
All
them with
right.
me because I'm not home right now. But yeah, so this just came out a few weeks ago here, and we all just got our books, and we are all #1 best-selling authors because all of us on the screen right here are best-selling authors in the book. So we're really super proud of ourselves. And so today I wanted to bring the authors, some of our authors on here. We're doing this every week till we get through all 42 authors. And we want to share some cool things about their experience with the book. And they're going to give us a little taste of their stories that they published inside the book as well. So just to clarify this, which we keep forgetting to do, Chuck, at the beginning, is this book, Built with Purpose, is a compilation book of 42 different authors sharing their individual stories of why and how they built their businesses because of their purpose. Yes, so these are 3 of our featured authors. So the biggest thing with publishing a book, and I'm super passionate about this. This is my purpose in my life, is helping people share their stories in a book. But becoming an author is really one of the very fastest ways to build authority and also share the heart behind your business. So I want to talk to you guys I want to ask you all this question. Tom, let's start with you. What inspired you to be a part of this book in the first place?
Well, I've been talking about writing a book for way too long. Okay. I've had little portions written, like a chapter here, but I had no idea how to do it, how to put it together until Sue, actually, I met you in France. So thank you for making that possible. And I had written some articles before that got published, just articles, but writing the book was just so awesome. And what it's done, you've now given me the incentive to start my book, and I have started it. Thank you so much. My own book. So thank you.
Yeah, I
And
want to go around and ask her a bit. Oh, were you going to say one more thing?
oh, I just might say one thing. I think I had told you this before, but in the opening of my book, I open it with a little thing that I call "Thank you, Aunt Louise." That's my dedication. And when I was very young, my dad wasn't very responsible. I call him the anti-mentor in life. So no, it's funny, but anyway, so he had me. I was living with my aunt who had 8 kids of her own already, like another mouth, and I must have been around 10 or 11. And I remember I did something wrong. I don't know what it was, but she got on me one day and she just said to me, "You know what? You're going to grow up to be no good, just like your father." And that has
Oh,
motivated me my whole life. It still motivates me today. That's why I say thank you, Aunt Louise.
Oh my God, that was
Yeah.
amazing. I'm going to cry with that one. Oh, you know what? I was a teacher and I was so conscious about what I told kids, even the ones that would drive me crazy that I felt that way sometimes, but I would never ever ever do that. But I'm so happy, Tom, that you took that negative thing that happened to you that somebody said to you and you just went, "Okay, I'm gonna, forget it. I'm just gonna prove it. To prove you wrong." I'm the same kind of person. And I really hope that inspires people that maybe think the opposite way and it let them bring them down because we hear about people like that, right? They hear stuff like that and then their whole life they blame.
They can't get over it.
Yes, they can't get
Yeah.
on it, or they blame that person for saying that, and now they're never going to be anything. They're going to believe it. So everyone should really believe exactly, listen to what Tom says and do what he did. And he's super, super great at everything that he does. They're very successful with their business. Thank you, Tom. I love that. I love it. I
Thank
love
you.
it. You're all first time authors, right? This is your first time. Actually, this is awesome. So I'm going to ask you all the same, you too, the same question, but I want to ask Tom one more time. What surprised you most about with this experience? Surprised you most about becoming an author?
How giddy I felt when I got my book.
Yeah.
I know it was crazy, but I felt like a little kid. It was like opening a Christmas present, and it was so. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It was like giddy, and I go. In fact, when I was doing the thing, I said, "Oh, I'm an artist." No, I'm not an artist. I'm an author. I couldn't even talk straight.
Yes, he did an unboxing video. It was so, so good. Awesome. Oh, yeah, it's been fun. It's been so fun. Let's ask Sharon, same question.
Well, reading your book, Sue, is what made me want to write. I read yours twice, and I cried reading your book. It had, um, I, I could relate to it, not like I wasn't in your shoes and your story, but just listening to you. I had no idea. It was so powerful. I got so much out of it. And then I went back and read it again, and I was doing the little notes that you had questions on each page. And I'd go back and I'd actually write down because then you reflected it back to the person that was reading it. And I would go back and I'd answer that, you know. And it was moving. I have never read a book like that since I couldn't tell you when, and it was amazing. And when you had said, "Hey, we're doing this book," I jumped on it. I wanted to do it. I just felt that if I felt that moved reading yours, here all these business owners are coming together to do this. I want to be a part of that, and I want to read everybody else's story. And this is what it's all about. We're here helping each other and making friendships and yeah, I'm gonna get yeah, it was
Thank
Yeah.
you,
No,
Sharon.
it's
very, very
inspiring.
powerful.
The book she's talking about is my most recent book that I did of my own story, which is called "I
Yes,
Wish I Could Do
wish I
That,"
could. Mhm.
because I traveled the country in my motorhome for over 5 years, and I had a million people saying, "I wish I could do that," like so. I wrote a book about that. That's what she's talking about, and that really gets to my heart, Sharon. Thank you so much for that. That's amazing, and that's what writing in a book is all about is sharing that story and it's like the best thing that you could have said to an author is that whatever my words I wrote in that book inspired you to do something or feel something or take action on something like writing a story. That's the goal of all of this. And that's why all of these stories in the book, I hope it really inspires people to share your own stories because you never, ever, ever know who it's going to inspire. And oh, you're so amazing.
And that's why we're promoting these as much as
Oh
we
my
are too,
gosh.
because we've got 42 authors who all have something
Mhm.
amazing to say, and we don't know who's going to read what. Tom's story, Jeff's, and be like, you know what? I was meant to read this today.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what
Mhm.
this is really all about. Let me dive in,
Can we,
talk to you
can we,
guys about, yeah, sure, what? Yeah,
I want to hear from Jeff one more time too. And then same
okay.
question. I got to hear from all of you guys. Like,
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Jeff did it already.
I
no,
haven't.
no, and
Okay.
that's okay. I just am so excited to hear what you have to say.
I
What,
lost track.
what,
Yeah, I never really thought that I would ever be part of a book or even an author or at all. It never even occurred to me that, all those years ago, 5, 6 years ago, meeting you at that very first Phoenix Alliance meeting, whenever we all met for the first time all together. And then part of that process and the relationships with you and hearing your story and your background and all the works that you've actually been a part of. And then when this opportunity came up, that's really, I attribute it all to you and the relationship of knowing you as to why I was even able to have this opportunity to do this.
Wow. And what surprised you about being an author?
Yeah, it was, I was super excited, just like Tom. I was like, I didn't get the opportunity to open my books. I was going to do the whole video thing because I said, hey, do the opening. So I got home and my son already had it all open sitting there on my chair ready for me. So I was like, well, there they are. Okay, that's awesome. That's cool. So yeah, it was exciting. It was like waiting, they were delayed a day and I was like, oh no, I got to hurry up and get them. Yeah,
that was awesome. Yeah, he was doing Jeff is the Alliance ambassador in Chandler, right? Chandler area.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, I'm not gonna have my books for my meeting. And I was coming down to that. And he's like, I got them. So he put them up and put a sign up and everything. And you actually sold 3 or 4 books at the event.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
That was so cool. Yeah, that's the exciting part about being a part of a compilation book is you only have to write 1 chapter and we all make each other best-selling authors and then you can buy the books at an author price and sell them. And that's one little way to make money, even though it's more of a marketing tool, which we're not getting all of anyway. So Chuck,
we're not getting in all of that. We'd be here until midnight talking
oh,
about
I
that,
know, I
right?
know. Well, I do an event every Monday that talks about that. So you guys can all go to that. I'll find the link and put it in the chat. But go ahead, Chuck. You have some more
It's a
questions.
great idea. Well, the thing that we always, and we just love talking to all of the authors here, but we always hear back from people saying, yeah, but we want them to preview their stories. So that's what we're going to do right now. But I'm going to ask all of you guys, preview them, but have a little cliffhanger because I'm also going to say what page they are in the book. So anyone watching this live or later will go out and get the book and look up your story. So, Sharon, I see your subhead here is from childhood dream career to living the career dream. So, give us a quick preview of that with a little cliffhanger if you can.
Since I was young, less than 10 years old, numbers were just my thing. They just connected to me. And all the way through, I've always wanted to be a banker involved in money, an accountant, but just money and numbers, because numbers tell a story. And I could just relate to numbers. I could just memorize them and they just fascinated me. And I always wanted to own my own business. And over 40 years later, I do. So
And there you have it. Yeah, and she covers in the 4.5 pages many of us have for this. She covers a lot of that. So she'll see some of the highlights there. You'll see some of the highlights. And speaking of numbers, Sharon, you're on page 13, which numerologically means you were here for hard work. And apparently
oh,
you've done a lot of it.
I
So
have.
that is fascinating.
No.
Tom, how about you? What's the preview, the grabber, and then maybe just, leave us hanging a little bit.
Well, I just did my story on the day that my purpose, I really it became crystal clear to me. I didn't lead up anything prior to that, but just I'm doing that in my other book. But there was a day I was driving in the car listening to an audiobook, and I had been struggling in my new entrepreneurship because I spent 37 years in corporate America,
Yeah.
and I started becoming an entrepreneur when most people are thinking about retirement. So it was an extreme challenge to get out of my own head, let go of my own ego, and I was struggling on, I knew what I wanted to do broadly. I wanted to help other people, but I was riding in the car that day and I was listening to the book and bang, it became crystal clear to me in the car in heavy traffic. This is what my purpose is. And I'll let you read that in the book, what that purpose is, you know. And then something that came out of that was that purpose led me down a path that there was a ripple effect, a second thing that came out of it that we never expected. So I'll leave you hanging on that.
Ooh, good one. Oh man, that's a really good one. And in case anyone has the book or you want to go out to Amazon and go get it, his story starts on 81. And 81 is achieving things and moving on to new things. And adds up to 9, which is also the number of the nurturer. Okay. And you having a business where you're nurturing people financially and God knows what else is in here. I haven't read your chapter yet, so I can't wait. Jeff, how about you? What's a quick preview and give us a little cliffhanger too. Tough to follow Tom on that one
Yeah,
though.
yeah. I mean, a lot of the background and origination, some of it with my business is all going to be in the next book that I'm going to be a part of, the Veterans book series. But
Wonderful.
it all started, I think from a state of, of being in service in the military and having that servant leadership, just of service really. And then being in IT now, that's all a service-based aspect, and you're really helping people. And that's what it all comes down to. Servant leadership really is what it all comes down to. And other things that have changed in my life that helped me and mold me according to that path. And, I started my business helping someone that had lost, their critical data for their business. And I wasn't even really had my business yet. And it was their livelihood. And I was like, I can help you do that. That's not a problem because I was already working in IT in the tech industry. And then right after that, I had a couple from my church. She had a USB drive and she'd washed it in her laundry and it had all the pictures of their honeymoon.
Oh boy.
And I hadn't put them on any other device yet. And I was able to take that USB device and recover everything for her. And so that was kind of what segued me into that disaster recovery aspect of that service that we offer. And so I think just offering that and then, just how those challenges went through my life and how it molded and shaped me as it started from there, and then everybody can read the rest of the story. But yeah, and then it'll be continuing in the rest of the books.
So I want to bring something up here. So you're really you're the tech rescuer because it's very emotional when anyone has any tech thing go on, especially if they lost things like their photos from a honeymoon or I mean data for their business or a
Correct.
whole email list or whatever. I mean, you also kind of have to be a counselor too. You're the
Absolutely.
rescuer and the counselor.
Yeah, you come alongside and you're consoling people because sometimes it's too late and you can't really, fix what had happened had your services been in place prior, but then they learn the hard way after the fact. And typically that's when you come in and get that great client for the rest of your life because they learned the hard way first and don't want to ever experience that again. And then now with you along their side as their partner, then you can help them prevent that from occurring in the future.
So you can safeguard it for the
Correct.
future. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a big deal. You are on page 85. Okay. And that's again, that adds up to the 13, lots of hard work. But boy, spiritual work too. I mean,
Yes.
you're saving people's lives in some ways.
Correct. Correct. And that's really the gist of my entire chapter from that spiritual perspective of my faith. Yeah.
Terrific.
And you know what's so funny about Jeff is when he was talking about, I never thought about being an author. And then it was literally late at night and he sends an email. He's like, I want to be in the book. I'm like, okay, well, do you want to talk first? No. And he's like, he jumped on it, got in the book. And I swear I was just so fast. And now he's like, I want to be in this book and this book and this book. And I want to write this book down. I'm like, okay, let's do it. I love it. So, and I want to go back to Sharon because, Sharon, like you all guys, you all have a little bit of a uh similar stories about wanting to help people. So anyway, let's see. You are in the bookkeeping industry and we talk a lot because she picks me up to go down to the other events. And so she was talking one day about the business owners that um, and I know this is true. A lot of us get in there and we'd have no idea about money, like where it goes and how to use it to determine, make decisions about our businesses, I guess is what I was going to say. So tell us a little bit about what you want to do now to expand your business to help people understand how to use money and the bookkeeping and all the things that they know to make decisions with their business. Oh, hold on.
How I like to kind of an analogy is I always let them know that your financial health of your business is just as important as your own health. That it goes hand in hand. You need a team, just like your own. I have a primary doctor, I have a dermatologist, and you're referred out to all these type of doctors, and everything goes back to your primary doctor. You're a team. So as far as being in the financial field and being a bookkeeper, it is a team. It's with their investor. It's with it could be their lawyer, their CPA. We're all a team along with the owners, and that's the most important thing to remember, especially when you're starting out a business, is that you need a team of people, and you can't do it alone, and you shouldn't do it alone. And find all those experts, people, and come together. And those numbers, like I talked earlier, do tell a story. And it is so important once you know those numbers, and they're not just numbers, that's your health. It's like your heartbeat of your business. And it's very important to see it that way, and in order to succeed and to keep growing. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to skip down to the purpose part, and then we can come back to the other stuff, Chuck.
Sounds good.
Yes, I know, Tom, you said you were going to leave us hanging about your purpose, but I really want to talk to everybody in the room about what your purpose is. And it all started with this. And I do a Friday mastermind, been doing it for over 6 years. And someone not long ago said, I have a question. I don't know how to find my purpose. You kids keep talking about this, but how on earth do I find my purpose? I don't know how to do that. And a whole bunch of people in the room raised their hand and said, we have the same question. How do you figure out what your purpose is? Tom, what would you say to someone who doesn't know?
Wow, that's a tough question.
Or you can share yours too.
I can relate what I did and how it happened for me. And like I said, I spent 37 years in corporate America, and I always felt entrepreneurial. I always felt like I was entrepreneurial, and I treated corporate business that way. But when it finally came that I was done, I came to the realization I found out that the company I was with was going to be bought out. And that's the third time that it happened to me in 15 years. So when you're on the side and gets bought out and you're at a senior level, your days are numbered. It's just that you're going to be gone. And so I said, I'm done. I'm done with corporate America. However, I was at the age that a lot of people were thinking toward retirement, but I in no way wanted to think about that. And I had a real issue that we had, because of those times when we had gone without income, when I'd been let go, we didn't have the resources we needed to retire the way we wanted to. And that's what started building my purpose. And I said, I've got to figure this out. And I figured it out. And once I figured it out for myself, I said, I want to help as many other people to do that as I can, especially in my generation. I'm a baby boomer. And I think a lot of baby boomers, we spent like crazy when we were younger. We didn't think about the future, And I made some dumb mistakes and did some things. So I figured that out. And so really, I will tell you what my purpose is today. It's to eliminate retirement income worries, because it's one of the biggest things people worry about today. There are all kinds of studies and things about people worry more about outliving their money than anything else in retirement. Well, that's what my purpose is now, is to help people solve that issue.
I love
That's a big one. That's a really big one. And it's interesting how you kind of you were sort of floating around it for a few years and then bang,
Yeah,
it hit you. Wow,
yeah.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And what would you say though, again, to somebody who's like, Tom, I've been around for a long time. I don't know what my purpose is, and maybe I have a bunch of them, but I don't even know what they would all be. What's the soul searching that needs to happen?
I I think it's what gets you excited to get up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you could say, what do you look forward to doing? What do you want to do? It's not, I have a job to do. What do you gravitate to? If you have a job, but you're thinking about this over here instead of the job, it's what you're thinking about. It's where your head is and your heart. I think both of them have to happen, your head and your heart. And if you focus in on that, and then you figure out how can I monetize it, of course, I mean, we all need to make a living. So
Right.
that I don't know if that sounds too simple, but that's the way I felt.
Well, you kind of need simplicity at that. You know what?
Yeah.
Because when people are just like, I don't know what it is, right? Just be like, well, what do you like doing? What are you
Yeah.
drawn to without needing to even think about it? You know?
Like Sharon. Sharon loved numbers. She was
Yup.
drawn to numbers. I mean, it was very, very clear. And Jeff, I read your story too on your relationship with Christ and everything. That just drew you and built your life. And you know, I mean, I think read the stories. If you don't know, read the stories in the book, and one of them or two of them or 10 of them may resonate with you. So,
And you might find your purpose in them
yeah,
too, right?
yeah,
Be like, oh my God, I can't believe Tom said that on page whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. Jeff, how about you give us a little bit more on your purpose without giving away your whole chapter? Because I
Yeah,
still want people to go buy the book.
right. Yeah, the purpose, I think is helping. I kind of covered it a little bit, but it's really just coming alongside those other business owners because I'm really focused on business to business and
Hmm.
helping those business owners because most people don't have that technical ability. They don't know how to do those things in and of themselves, and they you hear a company and they got and one of their senior managers is their internal tech guy, and he's not really even doing his own job, and he's taking care of other things when you could just offer just, not at a very expensive rate to be able to have all those things taken off of his plate where he could actually go do his job and actually earn the business the income like he should be doing rather than focusing on things that really aren't under his purview. So it's really
Exactly.
coming alongside and helping people to realize how easy it is to have a managed service provider partner alongside of you without actually hiring someone at full time for those types of positions.
That's a great thing to think about. We do want to open this up too to everybody if with the question, and this is in the chat, guys. Do you know what your purpose is? Do you know what your life purpose is? Do you know what your business purpose is? And if you don't, that's okay. We just want to have people weigh in and say it because we do believe that the book will help, but also a couple of us can help too. So weigh in on that, and that's important to say. Sue, I have a quick question for you. Okay. How many purposes do you think you have?
Well, I have a main purpose, which is doing everything I can to help small business owners. It's in my heart, my soul,
That's the
my
number
every
one.
single part of it. So right now, my purpose is helping people share their stories, which is what we're doing with the Business with Purpose book or Built with Purpose books. And we do have a lot of books coming up. We are now open for any veterans. We're doing a book called with veterans from it's mission-driven veterans from service to entrepreneurship. If you or you know any veterans that would entrepreneurs that would like to share their story, I'm super excited about that, and I love what we designed the cover with. And we're doing it for women business owners. That one will fill up really fast. And Tom, it's funny, we were talking because we're here locally, and he was telling me that he had this idea for what was the idea for the book that you were going to get authors in, Tom, from retired?
Retired to refired.
So he came up with that and got the domain and everything he was telling me. And I said, well, we're already doing a reinvented entrepreneurs book because so many people, almost everybody I know, have gone along one path and then they reinvented themselves, especially after COVID. That was a huge one. A lot of people
Hmm.
had to pivot their business then through a lot of different things that have happened. So anyway, that's going to be a good book. So if you're a reinvented entrepreneur, that's another one. We also have Women in Construction. Sherry Pedrioli, who is in the construction and plumbing industry, she's heading up one for women in construction. So, and we're going to do one for RV entrepreneurs. Kind of excited about that one too.
And isn't Jennifer doing the one on the
Pet
veterinary
business owners.
businesses too?
Duh, yeah, Jennifer's in the house. I think we have a couple of authors in there that are in the pet business owners. I can't wait for that. The cover's super cute, and they're going to have pictures of their pets and stuff. So I'm excited about that book as well. Um, Sharon, I don't think you got to answer the question about if someone didn't know what their purpose was, what would you tell them on how to find it?
Right.
I guess your passion, and you will have more than one purpose, and you won't necessarily know what it is. Like I didn't know my purpose. I know what my passion was my whole life, numbers, bookkeeping. I didn't understand purpose, actually. I didn't. And it wasn't until you, Sue, you were my first guest speaker, my very first alignable meeting. And I was such an introvert. I was actually shaking so nervously to get up in front of people to talk. And you just put the microphone in and said, here you go, Sharon, take it over. And once I did that, it was it was empowering. And I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know that I could do something so different. And then once I kept doing that, I found out the purpose was to help business owners more, even in my community. So the purpose for me was to educate not just the clients that I would get. You didn't need to be a client. The purpose then was to educate other business owners. You don't need to do business with me. That was not it. The purpose was to help and get the word out to everybody. And that is it just was a light bulb went off. And you have done so much for me, Sue. And thank you. And what I would tell other people, look back at your passion, and maybe you don't know what it is, but dig deep in your heart, and maybe you do have two different purposes, and find out, is one more just a hobby, is one the job, which you don't want to have just a job, you want it to be your purpose. And maybe you need to create it, or start one, and actually think about that, because it is really important to have that purpose. It makes you feel so good. I feel a changed person once I understood my purpose, not just my passion. It changed me.
Wow.
Wow. Well, Tom, on that note, I want to talk a little bit about the rehired and past retired and 60 plus. Okay. What about person's purpose over 60? Because sometimes that can be totally different than what they've been doing all along. And where do you find that calling? Or do you ask friends about it? Do you ask family? What else would you do?
Well, I know, like Sharon was saying, as we go along in life when we're younger, I don't think we actually recognize purpose. At least
Right.
I did. I recognized passion, like Sharon said. I recognized this is what I enjoy doing. But I've just felt as gotten older, we get wiser, I think. And we do, you know, and and I don't even know how to put it in words, but because Sharon, you did such a good job of saying it
She did.
yourself. Um, it's just all of a sudden it comes to you. If you've got something that you're driving, and I knew I had to fix that issue for myself. And once I did,
Right.
I go, oh my God, I want to help other people. But I still didn't have it defined in a purpose, in a 3 word or 4 word statement. Getting to that was difficult. And I went round and round, and different things in my mind. And that what I put in the chapters the day it happened, the day it became crystal clear. And something happened, something triggers it. With me, it was a trigger. And then bam, everything I've been thinking about became crystal clear. Yeah.
And, I just love that so much, both of what you guys were saying. And I think Jeff is probably going to agree with me. And I feel like we're on the same page too, all of us, actually. It's like, what would you do if you could just if money was no object and you didn't get paid for it and you would be just fine, take the money out of it. What would you do every single day of your life if money was no object? That's probably your purpose. Do you feel that way, Jeff? I don't know. I sort of do.
I do, because there's, where I've just actually started what I feel like, besides the business to business aspect, is, with my veteran experience, the veteran community is very, very underserved community. And just started getting plugged into the Gilbert Chamber here and some of those veteran groups and how to serve and how to offer some assistance in any way that I can through either nonprofits or other charities. And it's been kind of eye-opening to see the opportunities that are out there, and there is no, I mean, obviously, the mentality, you give and maybe something will come in return, but that's not the motivation for going into it. It's the motivation of just helping others and to servitude. And it really already is coming back, and even from the author experience, I've already got a speaking engagement in May to go speak to another group.
Fancy.
And yeah, that's awesome. And I actually am on the short list now for the Gilbert Chamber Business of the Year Award for the city of Gilbert, for the Chamber of Commerce.
Nice.
So I have an interview to go through next week, or next month. It's in June. The awards are in June. So all the interviews and all that stuff are in May. And so I think I'm in the last 3 or 4 in the finalist running. So I have to go to lunch sometime and figure out if you want or not. But it's an exciting opportunity. And so I just continue to plug in there and just to give your time that you can. And I think we all are given talents and abilities. And, we go through things in our lives to help others possibly that have gone through those things. So either to help them not go through those things or help them as they're going through them. So I think we're just given those opportunities, in life, and we just need to not skip by and just open ourselves up, just to allow those things to happen when the time arises.
I love it.
And it's so fulfilling, right?
And I love that it's not expecting anything in return. What you basically just said was, don't expect anything in return. And I have to call Sharon out for one more thing before I get to the next part of the interviews here. Sharon, I go to a lot of networking events with, because I go to hers that she hosts in Northern Phoenix, and then we go to a couple others. And I watch her all the time when she's out there networking, and she is the real deal. She'll go out there and she will refer other bookkeepers to people if they fit with them better than her. She is not out there saying, pick me, I'm a bookkeeper, you should hire me. Never. She more talks about other people too. And when there's another bookkeeper there, she makes sure she talks to them and builds a relationship. And because you know what, I always teach this, there's no such thing as competition, none. And everybody's different. This one might focus on one kind and this focuses on another. And that is the epitome of all of this, is the giving and the servant attitude, like Jeff was talking about. Everybody on the screen here is exactly like that. I've seen them in action, and I just hope that everybody will take that. That's a purpose in your life that you should be giving, and that's when you're going to find more of your purpose as well. And I just love all you guys. I've seen, you're in my heart. So
Me too. Great group.
So I want to ask the other question that we skipped here, Chuck, that we were going to ask is, I want to know from all of you, why would you encourage people to contribute to a book like this? Like if someone has a story, but questions, well, I don't know, I don't think I have a story that anybody's going to care about. What would you tell somebody like that? So let's go to Sharon first.
That encourage that, yes, your story is going to be unique because it's your journey along your time, and someone will relate to it. And it will move them, guaranteed. It will. And they just need to just write it down it is actually easier than you think. Don't stress over it. Just write it. Just put it down. Don't even think twice about it. Someone is going to thank you, and it's going to change someone else's life.
I agree. It's funny. I was in Sharon's story. She talks about being young, really young, and playing cashier and store and stuff like that when she was little. And I found a picture of me when I was little, teaching all the neighborhood kids on a chalkboard in our garage. And so here's little Sue being the teacher, with the chalkboard, and all the kids in the neighborhood holding their little puppies or whatever. And I was teaching. That was me, the speaker, teacher, and I mean, it's kind of interesting. Sometimes we look when we're young, and we end up growing up doing that, right? Isn't it funny?
Yeah.
I don't know, Chuck, were you like a news reporter when you were little and going?
Well, I created in eighth grade, I created the Robert Best Flash and did stories on all the dogs and cats in the neighborhood and all the gossip, and then sold them to contribute to the MDA, which I years later at the first TV station I was at, I was a host for 10 years. I kept coming back. So
Oh,
it's very interesting. Yeah, the reporting, plays, drama, anything along those lines, and just being a talk show host. I basically talked to everybody until they couldn't stand it anymore. So here we are.
I love it. Okay, I want to ask Jeff and Tom, what would you tell people that don't think they have a story to share and that they could never become a best-selling author? Tom, go first.
Um, I mean, first of all, it's sharing. You never know whose life you're going to touch. You never know somebody who's going to read that and go, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed today in my life. You just don't know that. And some of us don't believe it either, but we do. But there's another thing about it too. And I think Sharon, you touched on it a little bit. It's very therapeutic to yourself too, to put it down and write some things. Oh my God, and it's not that we're doing it to be selfish, but that's something that comes out of it too. Uh, so anybody that has a story, get in one of these books and wow, it just tell your story because you just never know where it's going to go.
Oh my
It,
gosh, that was, go ahead, finish what your thought was.
oh, I just was going to say, Jeff, I want to talk to you about the. I understand you're heading up the one for veterans. I just made a connection with the Honoring Veterans of America, so I want to touch base with you. Okay.
All right. No, the healing part is honestly what made me get so excited about doing more of these books. This is the fourth compilation book I've actually published and created. And the very first book I did was called Discover Your Identity because my own personal story of being married for 13 years to a rock star music or a musician, and his dream was to become a rock star. And I gave up my entire identity. I was just known as a musician's wife, and I made him a rock star, and I lost all of my identity. And so that book was amazing because I did a compilation book of people that had different stories that were around how they discovered their identity, super heartfelt stories. And it was amazing. The tears, the people that would call and say, this was the most healing thing I've ever done because I've never told anybody my story and how I felt about losing my identity. And I actually put it on paper knowing that people are going to read it for the first time when I've kept it inside. And I found out that it was the most healing thing for authors that ever, because you just don't know. You just don't know what it's going to do. But Jeff, same thing, same question about what would you tell someone?
Yeah, I think one of the most important thing is that you should never downplay or diminish the story that you think that no one would ever want to hear, because you're going to write it and it's going to go in there, and the right person somewhere is going to come along that story and it's going to help them through that experience. And there's absolutely nothing that you should ever do just to not put that story in there, because someone is going to get some help somewhere from what you're putting in. You may not think it's important or significant, but it's going to impact somebody for the better.
Oof, I love
And
it.
if it helps one person, think of, and Tom, you brought this up too, the ripple effect. If you can change someone's life and help them reposition it so they're on a better trajectory, hard word to say, you're really, I mean, think of what the other lives you're impacting that you'll never know about, but that's all good.
I love it. So we are at the very end. I knew this was going to go all the way to the end. I don't think we're going to have too many times for questions, but I suggest that everybody connects with everybody here. Everyone's on Alignable. You can go to businesswithpurpose.org, but let's real quick go around and just let everybody know how they can find you and connect with you. And maybe you can put in the chat any websites or anything that you want to do. So let's just go around real quick. How can people connect with you, Tom?
You can connect with me through Alignable, through LinkedIn, the website, passiveincomenetwork.org.
Great. Put it in the chat. I love
Okay.
it. Sharon, how about you?
Yes, so obviously Alignable. And I just created LinkedIn like a week ago. So I know I'm all proud. I have a website, and email. So I'll put them in the chat.
Perfect. And Jeff?
Yeah, the same. I put it in the chat. Our website, aandotech.com, and on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We're on all the social medias. It's aandotech is pretty much the tagline for all social media, or aandotech1. But the website is obviously the quickest and easiest with a contact form. You can call us, email us.
Awesome.
And how do people get the book, Sue? Because that has their contact info in it too.
It does.
Businesswithpurpose.org. You can find everything on businesswithpurpose.org. Maybe Fran or someone can put it in the chat. That would be great. And let's go ahead, Chuck, and take away the closing here.
And Amazon too. Yes. So definitely go to Amazon and get it, and share it. Okay. So there are all sorts of things. We'll get into that in another one. So we just wanted to thank everybody for being here. This was another, geez, what a great episode. I mean, my head's spinning, and and I expected most of this. So, look at what you're feeling coming out of this now and what the little germs of advice were too, and see how that could help too, because that's why Sue and I are doing this. This is, we're business with purpose, right? And it's all about real people, real stories, and real impact. And we hope all of you watching today got a great impact from all of this here today. And all of our speakers, you guys were just awesome.
I know I could go on for another hour with these guys. If you heard something today that sparked something in you, please don't ignore it. If you want to be a part of the community, the Business with Purpose community, we have the group on Alignable. You definitely want to be in that group. We have lots of cool stuff, just adding more and more. There's a lot of events. By the way, businesswithpurpose.org, brand new website, super duper excited about it. I just finished that. I've been working super hard on it. I would love you all to go check it out. So businesswithpurpose.org. If you want to be an author in one of our future books, the Veterans book or Reinvented or Women's book or any of those, definitely go there. It's the publishing link on businesswithpurpose.org. And yeah, what a great episode. Thank you guys so much.
Wow.
I love you guys so much.
Thank you, Sue and Chuck.
Thank you both.
And
all
Tom
of
and
you.
Jeff.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys were
Yes,
great.
all of you.
Loved your stories.
You
Thank
are.
And stay tuned next week, folks.
Mhm.
Same time, same place.
Awesome. Yes, sign up. Go register for all of them. We'll see you soon. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Love you all.
everyone.
Bye.
Have a great night.